Cool. Well, Yannick, I appreciate you taking the time, mate. So thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome.
So let's just start with the situation before joining Control System Specialist. Like, what was the situation for you back then? That was about what was it? We spoke the other day, like 3 months ago.
Yeah, roughly 3 months ago. So my situation was, I just finished my education as an electrical installer, and then I didn't really know what to do, and then I just jumped for a maintenance engineer position, and after 8 weeks working there, I got fired because I didn't really. It was not what we were talking about at the interview, and uh, expectation wasn't matching. So I had to go, and then I was not really got. I didn't really get any closer to what I really wanted. I liked the automation part, and um, yeah, that's what I knew I wanted to do. And then I came
What
in
happened?
contact with you. Yeah.
Yeah. So what? Because mate, you're not the only one that's been fired. I've been fired many a times. And what was it then? What was the reason for, I mean, getting fired? I mean, that's quite a strong word, but things didn't align, things didn't work out. Like what didn't align? What didn't work out? Why did that come about?
So I just came from a position where I were building panels, uh, electrical panels. So I were like really hands-on with electrical work. Where at the maintenance engineering job, I got all sorts of different kind of jobs like um, switching out water hose and yeah, things that like lays up towards the maintenance engineering part, but isn't really what I were looking for because I'm
Hmm.
a bit more. I like to get down in the stuff and figure out what is opening, what is closing, and which things are communicating and why are they doing it.
Yeah.
And that was yeah, that was what I were looking for. Um,
So that
yeah.
that's what you wanted to do, but they ultimately weren't allowing you to do that or enough of that.
I didn't. There wasn't enough of it because it was like in the dairy industry, and they had the production. They just needed to keep running.
Yeah.
And I just came from a different environment that were more cultivating this kind of um, educational thing, where I kind of combined studying and working in
Yeah.
at the company. And yeah, that gave me a lot of drive, and I didn't really get the same thing at the new company. Um, at the same way, it's just a different culture. Um,
Yeah.
and but the thing is, I was just confused with what to do, and I thought like the world is so big because the engineering world is quite large. From you know like building the panels to designing them to getting the projects in to running a whole business and um, yeah, there was just like a lot of opportunities and quite hard to figure out what to do and I didn't really know where to position myself, um, and that's where the program really helped me a lot. um,
But what made how did it come about you leaving that place? Like did
the
you
maintenance
was
the
it
maintenance engineering position you're
yeah,
thinking
like
of.
back then, like when you said, "Oh, I got fired," but like, how did you get fired? What happened? Was it just like a
Oh,
mutual conversation, or did you get
no.
so bored you were
Um,
like, "I'm not doing this anymore," and they fired you? Like, what
no,
happened
no.
there?
I actually, there was a lot of new things at the maintenance engineering. There was like a lot of machineries and a lot of cool things to look at. But what happened was one day my motivation hadn't been going super strong because it wasn't the right
Yeah.
job. And one day my
Yeah.
manager just pulled me to the side and was like, "Yo, we don't see the motivation going here, and we kind of just want to let you go from this point on." And the same morning, they just took in two new guys, two new electricians, to try and see if they wanted to continue with it. Um, yes,
Savage. A bit
yeah,
savage, mate. That's so I've had that twice, two times I can remember specifically where you just get told at the end of the week, yeah, sorry, for whatever reason. And certainly in one case, my motivation wasn't there either. I was doing
mm,
service maintenance work and it was just so tedious, so boring. My heart wasn't in it at all, and they were just like, yeah, sorry, that's it, you're done. That was it basically. The other one
yeah,
was a little bit of a different story, but you're like, oh shit, okay, well, maybe that's a fair decision, but it's still a little bit of a shock to the system, isn't it, when that
yeah.
happens?
It's
So
definitely a shock because I'm more used to like being open in the communication, and if the motivation isn't there or thing isn't like we were talked about or the expectation isn't matching, I'm more open to like just talking about it. Maybe
yeah,
we could maybe make a month, say like help help us a month, and we could get the right people in, and you can just help what you to keep the shift going, and then we could say goodbye in a month or something.
mm.
Um,
the
but
Yeah, I mean, I get it from a business perspective why businesses don't necessarily do that because if you know you're leaving, then you can potentially, not that you are, but some people would be a complete arsehole and just go and ruin stuff and make it difficult. So they kind of just want to get people out there and then.
yeah, mm,
But the expectations didn't align, right, Yannick? Like you joined this
yeah,
place, they set an expectation, and this is what happens, man. I see this all the
yeah,
time. Like businesses, they promise the world, they dangle the carrot, and then the realities are when you start, they just want you to stay in a narrow lane doing stuff that you
mm,
ultimately don't want to be doing. You don't mind doing a bit of it, but the expectation was to do, all this other stuff.
mm. But it was a good experience to try out because I came from originally I just got my apprenticeship in a super small local business, and then I moved up to a bigger company with like 100 people. And in the time I was in that company, they scaled it to 200 roughly. And then I jumped to this new job, and it's like super big dairy production, which got like 60 factories around in Denmark, and you can just feel it's just running on a completely different level than all the other companies. Um,
You're just a
so
number.
that's a nice notion to experience to bring on further, you know.
Yeah. So what was the goal, man? Like, so yeah, I suppose coming back to the program control system specialist, like, what was the goal for you, like around that time when you joined?
Okay, so my mission for this program was to gain confidence in making electrical designs, and then I wanted to get a better understanding of how to program PLCs. And then I want to become a master at executing projects from A to Z. Um, and and as a bonus, it would be super fucking nice if I could become like a freelancer as well. And um, yeah, that's roughly yeah, that's the mission.
And so if I ask you, why you wanted to do design, why you wanted to do like the PLC programming, the answer is so you can be a self-sufficient freelancer then. Was that the reason why you wanted to learn that?
Mm, so I I just came from the panel building industry, and I seen a lot of project engineering engineers, and I seen like a lot of the paperwork, and I feel it quite interesting. Um, and but I didn't quite know where to place myself. Did I know
Mm.
what I were doing, or did I just know how to read it? How could I structure it myself, and so on? What was like the difficulties? I have tried it out a little bit from school and a month of practice, like a month of engineering, like project engineering
Yeah.
practice. Um, and then I just wanted to figure out how I could create my own documentation, just to make planning and executing projects easier in the future. So what's why I
Okay.
wanted electrical design, and then with the PLC programming, it was because at the dairy factory, I actually okay, at the panel if, building factory, we were doing all the mechanical wiring and the building inside of the panels. But then I came to the dairy factory. I saw like everything is connected together and talking together. So I found that really interesting and really want to get to know and see and just figure out how is it, why
Mm.
and how
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
is it, does that work?
Curiosity.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to figure
Mm.
out where does this line in with all the documentation and everything. And I'm working on that actually right now. I'm working on the Luxon just on the
Yeah.
other screen here. Just trying to. I just got to the point of putting in some function blocks, so that's an exciting project for later today. Um, and the last thing was to become like a master at executing projects. So far, I just I have been used to just getting a piece of paper and just building the panel and just executing on it. But my interests have just reached to the point, or what I figured out. That's just something I figured out on the way, Chris. To be honest, is um, I didn't really. I got like so much technical training from the panel building thing. I didn't really need that much. I just needed the
Yeah.
confidence in putting it down on the paper, and then I just need
Mhm.
to read the manual. That's what I like to cook it down to be honest.
Yeah. So many people say that. Read the manual. It's overlooked though, isn't it, by a lot of people?
Yeah, it is. But I don't want to read the manual all the time. That's kind of what I figured out. I don't want to read it all the time.
No.
Then it's necessary. Of course, I'm gonna read it and just do it.
Hmm.
But there's so much more to um, like executing a whole project from just getting the project from selling it or like marketing and selling to like getting a person out on the site and actually putting the system up and aftercare and such. And yeah,
Yeah.
I just kind of want to get to know where to position myself because I already think I got some part of this and I just want to expand on it. Um,
What's the big like? It might have changed a little bit over the last few months, but what is the big goal for you? Like, where do you really want to get to? I don't know, like in not necessarily putting time frames on it, but year, 2 years, 3 years from now, like what do you actually want to be doing, Yannick?
okay, I kind of just want to drive around in my caddy and climb rocks. That's kind of what I want to do. But
Climb
uh,
rocks, did you say?
yeah, climb
Yeah,
rocks.
yeah,
Yeah,
rock
that's
climbing,
kind of
yeah.
just what I want to do. So I kind of
Yeah.
want something that is flexible, but at the same time, like realistically, I'm not gonna drive around and climb rocks for my entire life. That's not gonna be the satisfying as well.
Yeah, unless
So I
you're
think,
Alex Honnold, right?
yeah, exactly, but I'm not.
Yeah,
um,
not yet. Oh,
not
you
yet,
got to
not
be
yet.
pretty crazy to be a guy like that anyway.
It, I'm not that crazy. I'm not that crazy.
Yeah.
That guy is the next
You
level.
want to live.
Yeah. uh, hopefully. So, so I have like, where did we come from? Um,
The big goal, man. So like, yeah, that's like the lifestyle. You'd love to be doing that. But in terms of
yeah.
like career wise, that's gonna, because that's it, isn't it? It's trying to find a career, a business, that can give you the money, the time to do these other things, that we really want to do in our lives. Like, so what's the goal in terms of career and business that's going to enable you to do this rock climbing as much as you possibly can and give you that freedom?
So my thing is, I like to get out to the clients, and I like to, guide them to a good solution, and I like to make a good service. And but at the same time, I don't want to run around with tool in my belt all the time. I kind of do want to do some more high leverage stuff, and um, I think
High
it's good.
leverage. That's such a key word, mate. That's such a key word there. Yeah.
Hmm, and um, yeah, I already have been investing in like an rental property, and I kind of hit a point where I figured out I can keep running at my 9 to 5 job, but I would just hit a wall eventually. So I need to figure out to make like an active income. Um, and I think this would be like a good idea because my vision would be to like make a system where I can help maybe other landlords or Airbnb owners and to like um, manage their properties and um, um, yeah, do some fuel system for them, and maybe have some electrical people are actually working out in the field, putting
Right.
things together and just managing things from behind and making the documentation and getting projects in, setting them up, servicing, maintenance, and be able to take the excess of the company out in the whole over in the holding company for more rentals, and just kind of leveraging it out so I can get out and climb rocks.
Yeah, nice. So in terms of like the controls and automation element, then you'd have kind of a product that's almost, there's obviously going to be some custom elements to it, but almost like a core product that you can sell to landlords similar to yourself. And this is it. It's like you understand the market, what it's like being a landlord because you are one, right? And it's developing a product service around that, almost packaging it up, but then you sort of do you do the entrepreneurial business side, but then you have a team of contractors that do the install and the maintenance service. Is that what you're thinking? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And the thought is actually it always comes from like getting tenants in and out. You already have to look at the electrical meter, water meters, and it's
Yeah.
just nice to know if you have like if you at least go up in a bit more expensive rentals. It would be nice if you just have like if you have big apartments buildings, right, Chris? It would be nice to just know like the manager can see if windows should be open or alarm system is going off or on, or um,
Yeah.
just knowing what is going on in the building while it's active and empty at the same time, and
Yeah.
just
Love
make
it.
management super easy. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's what it's about, mate. It's like I love to hear it because with this technology, with controls and automation, you don't have to go, smart home. Do go and do smart homes. It's like because that's obvious, that's generic, that's kind of like what everyone's wanting to do, and there's not really a big enough market, and you're dealing with a lot of the time end customers, consumers, they're not businesses. If you can carve out a little niche like you've just suggested, where there's elements of smart home stuff, but it's actually solving a problem, it's a solution, and you're selling it to a business, like this is this is where the money's at, this is where you can really create a really good product and service that's going to solve a solution, and businesses are willing to pay for it. Like that's what it's all about, mate. It's using this technology, and you know the market. Like this is what's so exciting. You know the market, and that's what it's all about. It's for anyone that's potentially watching this. It's like that's the thing. Like I'm going off on one. I'm getting excited now. But like there was there was a guy when I was working at Loxon that literally just focused on churches, just doing heating control for churches because they've got like different people coming out, and like the churches are always really cold, and they just have some sort of remote monitoring, remote control for the churches or on timers and stuff. Yeah, and it was very, very simple, but you just create an offer around that specifically, and you're kind of dealing with a business, and it's a repeatable thing. You get better and better. You're that guy that then does heating, intelligent heating that saves energy, blah 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 blah, more, comfortable, more practical, and you just go and sell that thing, and that's it. You got a business right there. And it sounds like that's what you're planning on doing with this, which is love to hear it, mate.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of where I want to pull the automation in, you see. And at this point, I just found Loxon to be it kind of aligns with where I already come from like the small electrical business where I did residential houses. So I already have experience in that area. So now I just
Yeah.
have to figure out how to, and then I got to like the place where I built a lot of panels. So now I just have to figure out how to combine it with getting the heating systems and the smart systems, everything connected together. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah. That's awesome, man. So what's so what would you say the I think we touched on it actually, the kind of the road, like that's the goal that you really want to get to. That, that might be in a year or so's time,
mm,
perhaps sooner. But like what's the roadblocks that you see, or what were the roadblocks back then before joining the program? You might have mentioned them, but if whereas, how do you design systems? How do you project manage? And you talked a bit about like the business side and the marketing. Would you say that was the main roadblocks for you getting to that point, or is there anything else?
I think that was just like my mission to figure out where to position myself.
Right.
So if I could kind of just like kind of make a landscape over these three areas, I would know where to position myself in a job position. If it should be a service engineer or design engineer or project engineer, whatever the position would be out there. But I just came to a completely different conclusion than what seemed like straightforward because um, after running through the program, or after doing the career specialist, I kind of built up my LinkedIn profile, updated it, made a CV, updated it, and optimized it. And I started pushing it out, and I actually got some calls back and went to some interviews and some
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, mate. Yeah.
some
Talk about that.
coffee chats,
Yeah.
and um, yeah, nothing that that so there came in some okay offers, not really what I were looking for, but I also got some leads towards some better positions. But the I thing is, I just couldn't figure out what I really wanted to do, and I got some offers a bit far away from where I live at this point, and I was just like, dude, I rather climb on the weekdays than driving back and forth to work. So, is it really what I want to? If I don't really want to sacrifice anything for it, and then was like, dude, I'm 24. I already got like good education. I'm already got like investments in houses. Should I just go for an office job at this point? And if I do so, it would be nice. Would get good experience and good money, and but it's dude, it's just not. Just it doesn't make me feel anything.
Yeah.
Um, and then I came by this guy who hit his leg and needed some help for a month, and yeah, and we just hit it up and just did some work together, and it figured out we're working pretty good together because he's a bit like chaotic and just pushing forward, where I'm a bit more like holding back, but I kind of catches things in the air and systemizes things.
Yeah.
So we found like a good like energy, like a
Hmm.
pull push energy, and and after a month, I was like, we got a good energy here, but the work he were doing wasn't really um, the work wasn't really what I wanted to do because it was more residential renovations and normal electrical work, putting up a lamp. Um, but then there was this bonus part on my mission where it's like go freelance or do my own thing, which we talked about it earlier. It's kind of not like it haven't been in my ability at this point because I've been not like in an economic good standpoint where it's been possible to like try and experiment with my own thing.
Yeah.
But then after this month, I was ready to leave for the next thing. He kindly offered me to get some percentages of the one-man band he is running at this point.
Yeah.
And I would get my own car and I could make my own contract and we could just see where things would lead in the future. And if I wanted to go freelance or go do my own thing in 6 months or a year, then I should be open to do it. So I kind of stumbled across this guy by accident, and this crazy offer kind of just uh, fell in my fell in my lap, and then yeah, just jumped for it and
Yeah.
thought, fuck it, I'm just gonna try and figure this out and go with this a one-man band and see how to build a business and how to run a business. It might not be the most advanced automation stuff, but we can work towards that part because right here he already have all the essentials placed
Yeah.
down. So we actually just have to keep doing what we're doing now and then tweak the
Yeah.
offer and uh, land the clients we want and the job
Yeah.
we like and yeah, just
So you,
improving from here.
yeah, yeah, and like you were saying, like systematizing things and getting procedures in place, and yeah, obviously the offer first, and what you're saying earlier about potentially, helping these landlords and stuff, like going down that route potentially. But this is what I love, man, is you start doing stuff, you start putting yourself out there, you start creating a buzz. Like you said, like the CV, LinkedIn, like what was you told me a month or so ago is you're like, oh, I'm gonna go and have this coffee with someone, or no, was it you spoke to someone on the phone or something, and then you're like, oh, fuck it, I'm just gonna go and rock up at their offices and just see if he's there for an in-person conversation. I was like, yes, mate, because no one does this sort of shit. No one actually has the balls to just go and do that and just say, look, here I am. This is what I got to offer. Like, be good to have a conversation because like you doing that, you just stick in people's heads. You're like, God, that like it's almost like oh, what's the word I'm looking for? a pattern interruption because people are just used to messaging on emails or DMs or whatever, and you actually go and rock up in person. Like that's a pattern interrupt. I'm going to remember this guy. Like it's just so when you told me about that, I was like, yes, mate, this is the guy. This guy's gonna. There's something special is going to happen with this guy. I know it. And this is what happened. Like these opportunities just end up happening. You put like good stuff out in the world, like it sounds a bit woo-woo. You start doing stuff, just stuff starts coming back to you in terms of opportunities. That's what happens,
Exactly.
right? And so
Yes.
now you're ultimately a self-employed. You are like you are your own boss, but you've partnered with this guy that's got an established business. Is that right?
Mm, exactly. Exactly.
And you're getting like profit share or some sort of
At
percentage
this
on things.
at this point, we're just running a bit on the old contract, so I'm just getting paid by hour at this point. But we are working towards um, in the beginning until we completely figure out if I go into the business. But I get hourly pay and then project bonuses on
Right.
projects. So a 50% project bonus. Um,
Oh, that's awesome. And what's so good about this, mate, is like you're still young. Like you just even if you just stayed with this guy for a year, you're just gonna you because you're basically a three-man band. I think you said there's an apprentice there. So it's
yeah.
ultimately you and him running this business, and you've got the security of his already established business, but you can develop, you can take control, be responsible for developing down the smart route or building automation route and there's it's not any risk to you and you can kind of learn it partly on his time also yours as well and you're incentivized to do well. It's just mate, it's exactly what you want. It's exactly what you want. So, mate, I'm so excited for you.
Mhm.
So
It is really exciting.
yeah, mate, it is. I'm really really excited for you. What elements of the program would you say helped you like get to where you're at now in your journey the most?
Yeah. So I think the first thing was I have to pull this up on the side. I think the specialist foundation was a lot of it. I found I was just like I said in the review. It's like a lot of it feels like just feels a lot like a friendly reminder of things I already know already. So I think the specialist foundation, it was really nice. It felt like I got like up to date. And the panel specialist, I've been building panels for 3 years, so I was just yelling. Then you were cutting out holes with a hole cut. I would just yelling, use a laser, bro. Uh, so I
Yeah,
had a little
yeah.
things
We don't
there,
all have
but
those
I worked in a big
facilities though.
production.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah. I don't I was like I don't have a freaking big laser in my garage, bro.
Oh, why not? Why not?
If you got a
But
laser, man,
but
then
but
yeah, that's cool. You can use a laser for sure.
but it was nice to run through and see how you would do it by yourself. But yesterday I was out on this like ventilation um and like how would you say it in English? Ventilation installation, and I had to myself cut holes for new cables in it. So I kind of got to need it later than I thought.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was nice. I like, but where things really took off for me was at the design specialist. It, it just almost facepalmed myself because you made it seem so simple, Chris.
Oh, thanks.
I was like, is this just it? Is this just it? Most of it I just figured out was in the program to make things connected, like in the if you I don't know if you remember the design I laid up in the group. It was like the program, if you put components in it, it would be able to pick it up on lists, and you could be able to put it in already finished panels and such, and the components would be like kind of linked to each other.
Yeah.
So so, but as you said, it's like it's just finding the right program to kind of work in and to figure out in what kind of um, umfang, in which capacity to kind of make the project in for the design phase, because you can make it like super big and long with a lot of useless information, and you can make it like
Mm.
super short and just effective. Um, so, but it just kind of got me pushed into like kind of just trying to put on some designs by myself and just going back to the simples. Like it's just a square with a name on it, and that's it. And then you can write it in an Excel arc, and you can just keep pushing. Because I think where I got confused beforehand is trying to link up these three components in a system where it should be putting itself in lists. And I think I just kind of got overwhelmed looking at it for like further I go, and yeah, you just kind of
Yeah,
simplify.
those softwares, that's like the automated way of doing it, right? Like they're quite complicated softwares, like whereas what you're describing, it's more like the manual way of doing things when you're not doing hundreds of projects every month, you're just doing one here and there, like probably makes sense to do it manually, but then you actually understand the process,
Mm,
yeah.
exactly, and it's like just knowing the process from making the square and giving it a name and to how it could look like if you I already seen in like a modern office how they do it. Everything is almost pre-drawn. They just says, okay, we need these much MCBs and just pull finished
Mhm.
drawings down. So I have seen it before, just but now I know how to do it by myself and kind of see this is my project. This is these components we use, and now I know how to just craft them and put them with more confidence
Yeah.
than before, really. And yeah, and after like kind of playing around with making some designs and just yeah, gaining the confidence, yeah, I went to the career specialist, or I continued on the career specialist because I didn't really figure out what I wanted yet at this point because I
Yeah.
haven't got the partnership yet.
Yeah.
So I actually worked on my career thing for a long time, like making posts and writing to people, connecting, and just yeah, just making a lot of outreach. Um,
Hmm.
and I got some feedback, and actually pretty proud of it, but it nothing really felt right. And now I think the timeline is we're here, and we are just
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
started on really figuring things out with this partnership and business thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're just getting started, Chris.
Yeah,
Actually.
mate. Yeah, we're just getting started. Yeah, I mean, this is it, man. Like in a year's time, well, we'll have to have a conversation again in a year's time, mate, and see where you are then. But like the career specialist, like going through that process, it it was good for you because it helped you realize that actually this isn't what I want to do. And like well you're not getting that excited about going to work in an office or going to work for a big business. Like that wasn't that wasn't getting you motivated and excited. But now like there's a different energy, there's a different vibe. I mean, I'm getting excited as well for you because I know what this will do for you. Um, but it helped you identify what you really wanted to do. What advice would you give to anyone that's looking to go down the same path as you're going down, like looking to achieve the same thing as you, Jannik.
Just get out there, I would say. Just don't stop. Don't be discouraged by getting fired. Just
Yeah.
don't maybe don't even bother too much about it being a fancy position. Just get your head out there, and maybe the right thing will fall in your lap. So yeah,
Yeah. Great advice,
you
mate.
never know.
That's the thing. Like unless you put yourself out there, like this is what took me far too long to realize is people don't come to you. Like you're just there waiting for an opportunity to present itself, and rarely do they happen. But if you switch it and you're the one going out there, that's when the opportunities start happening. Like when you're putting yourself out there, you're not getting discouraged. You're pushing through that discomfort, that anxiety that we all feel. Like it's uncomfortable. We could get it's getting out of your comfort zone doing this, like rocking up like you did, rocking up in person to have that conversation with that guy. I'm sure there was some anxiety there. There's some discomfort there, right?
But it
Is
was a
that
really good experience. But it was a super good experience. I
yeah?
yeah.
But what made you go through that? What made you push through that discomfort, that anxiety? Like, why did you do that?
Why not? Is Yeah, why not? I I thought if I should get an electrical engineering position somewhere, to it were supposed to be there because it would match my like criteria from close to work and the area and like my first intuition of what I wanted. It should be there because then I could continue my climbing, and that was like the thing that kind of why I didn't go for the other offers. Um,
So it was
so
a good fit. It was a good match for what
yeah,
you
it was
wanted.
actually a good fit, and it was a really exciting company because they were both um, going out to the customers, building the projects, but also making panels at their own location. So I would also already know some stuff in the from the business or like branche, like this work area.
What made
Um,
you go and see him in person though, rather than just like email him? Because most people would just do sit behind a screen and email. What made you actually go in and
because
speak to him? Like, and
I
there was no warning, was there? You just went in there. There was no,
yeah, I just went in there. No emails, no. We
yeah.
have talked earlier, like a month earlier, but the guy he sent me to got fired. Uh, and I think then I just lost communication with the company, and I just thought if this is supposed to be it, um, why not just go for it? And if it's a no, good. I know the answer is no, and then I can
Yeah,
fucking move on and just
yeah,
continue figuring out what to do. Not just
yeah.
instead of just worrying at home, is this supposed to be it? Should I wait for a week? And the thing
Love
is,
it.
I went to the place. He didn't have time for like a chat, so he told me. So I did a follow up like the week after, and he wasn't. He actually read my papers I gave him, but he haven't like talked with his other colleagues if it was a match or if they needed a guy like me at this point in time.
Mm.
Um, and then I actually called him every second day for almost a week, and then he was like, "I'm gonna call you back next Friday, the latest," and he didn't call me back, and yeah, so you can see if I were just going to wait around 2, 3 weeks to not even get an answer on an email, that would just be a waste of time. Just yeah,
Yeah.
just
You
get it
wouldn't
over with.
get it over with, like take control, take responsibility, and like that, mate, that was such a nugget right there. Like just if it's a no, it's a no. At least you understand, at least you know, then
Yeah,
that's fine. Like it's like it's just sales 101. It's like you're looking to get a yes or a no, and if it's a no, that's fine. Now you can move on. You can stop following up with that prospect. It's fine. You know, they don't want your services, and it's only a no for now. It's not a no forever. It's not to say you can't get in touch later on, but it's a no for now, and don't take it personally. Like, but you have an answer now. It's like, great, brilliant. I can move on. I can get into the next
Yeah.
person. Awesome, man. Yannick, well, yeah, mate, I'm so excited for you, and yeah, you're obviously in the program for a fair few, well, yeah, quite a while in advance. How long? Yeah, like you're still in the program for quite a while now, so yeah, we can see where you go, mate. We can keep in touch, and yeah, we can continue working together, which I'm very excited about. So we'll have to do another call in a year's time, see where you're at.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do that. Let's do it.
All right, mate. Well, stay on the line. But yeah, appreciate you taking the time to do this, buddy. Thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
All right, mate.